Hi everyone, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp and welcome to another STAMPtemer 2023 video. Today I am going to be sharing a distress pencils with embossing folder colored image using brand new products from the STAMPtemer 2023 release from Simon Says Stamp. This release is not limited edition. It will be restocked as needed. Now, one of my favorite effects is coloring embossed or embossing folder images. You can get beautiful results. And my goal with this is to show you how quick and easy it is with distress pencils. I have embossed the beautiful brand new Wild Berry Wreath embossing folder on watercolor cardstock. This is some cold press Arches watercolor cardstock. And I am taking Distress Oxide inks in antique linen and gathered twigs. The antique linen kind of all over the design and the gathered twigs around the edges. This is to give it kind of that old vintage type of look and feel. Don't worry about getting some of the color on the embossed areas. That is going to be covered when we color with our distress crayons. Now, if you haven't used the distress crayons from Holtz, they are amazing. I absolutely love them. With minimal work, you get amazing results. I have listed the colors I'm using on a blog post that is linked down in the description below. Minimal colors, I'm kind of pulling out what I think. A couple of shades of brown, couple of shades of green, and then I pulled multiple colors of red, but I will say I only ended up using fired brick. I want it to have that vintage rustic-y kind of feeling. And I think I pulled Barn Door or Candied Apple, I can't remember which, and it's just a little too bright red for this particular design. Starting with the pine cones, you can see I laid a little bit of color down on those two pine cones with my brown shades, and then I'm going to use a water brush pen to blend the color out right on that embossing. Now, I like to let it dry a little bit. If I need to come back later and add more detail, which I will do just to kind of pick up some of the ridges and things of the pine cones, you can do that. You can also use a paintbrush dipped in water if you don't have a water brush pen. I like super easy, lazy, if you will, watercolor, and this is one of my favorite ways to do that. Now taking a green pencil, you can see that I'm using kind of a very light hand to add the color to the pine branches here. These are pretty delicate and detailed, so I'm really just wanting those raised areas to pick up the color. I'm not necessarily coloring, if you will. Same thing with some of these branches. I'm using a brown pencil to add just a little bit of color to these. I will take a bit of water to this, but you want to use a very tiny bit, otherwise you'll run the risk of the water just running everywhere. Now, this may seem like quite a bit of coloring, but this card literally came together so quick. This is not a long video today. I know I speed it up for the sake of video, but I did this entire card in 45 minutes or less. So if you are looking for maybe making some beautiful designs, I even think this would be a beautiful design to put a Christmas or holiday type quote in and frame for your home. I think that would be absolutely stunning. Think outside the box of other ways you can use your paper crafting products inside of your home. That's one of my very, very favorite things. I'm going through now, kind of trying to fill all of my green areas. Now, what's funny, and I know I've mentioned this in many, many card making videos before, when you add the red to your card, it adds that pop that just instantly elevates a pretty design to spectacular. And in this case, I really feel like once we get to our fired brick pencil and add that color to some of those berries and all of that good stuff, it's just going to make the whole thing. Now, I love the greenery. It's beautiful here. You can see I'm just going through and just kind of lightly adding a tiny bit of water. And you're starting to see this take shape. Instead of kind of those chicken scratches from the coloring, it is looking absolutely stunning. Really, really pretty. Now, it wouldn't have to be holiday. There are lots of beautiful 3D embossing folders in this STAMPtemer release, as well as just available at Simon Says Stamp in general. From other past releases, you could take any of those and create similar designs. So it isn't always about something new. My hope with STAMPtemer all month long is to share inspiring videos that maybe inspire you to use things you already have, in addition to maybe picking up a few things here and there. It doesn't all have to be new, and you will see that all month long, that I am going to pull back to things I maybe have in my stash or mix and match things just to encourage you to create. It's all about creativity this month. And every month, let's be real, we're crafters. So now, fired brick time. I'm going to lay a little bit of that color down. I will say I was a little nervous. I thought, well, do I want to go full on fired brick? But I honestly just love it. It is gorgeous. I noticed I missed some little green areas. As much as I try to go color by color, there's always those times that I can see, oh girl, you missed something. So I am just gonna go and kind of fill in anything that I think I maybe missed there. I noticed a couple of little leaves needed maybe additional shading. The water has dried. I've missed a few little areas, or maybe I was unsure kind of what they were, and now I'm going back and just adding that extra bit of color. So minimal amount of colors needed. You could do the same thing with your favorite watercolors. You could take Distress inks and use Distress inks or re-inkers as a watercolor palette if you don't have the pencils. You can use your traditional watercolors, anything that you have. But look at this. Oh my gosh. Do you see what I mean when you add those red berries? How stunning is this card? Oh my gosh, I love this background so much. I could see even doing this image on the front of, let's say, a December Daily type album. This could be your title page. You could put a big 25 in the center. Now that I said that, I totally want to go do that, even though I already have my album. But maybe it could be something I could add in somewhere into my album with some die cut numbers. I'm thinking the new numbers from Hero Arts would be cute in here. So definitely let that inspiration take you. Now I noticed my first bit of gouache, apparently my paintbrush had some red in it, and I don't want my snow to be pink. So let me I cleaned my paintbrush. I added a bit of water to my gouache, and I am splattering on some snow, because what is a beautiful wild berry wreath without a bit of snow? I love gouache. It maintains that rich white color, and it's not going to pick up the distress color underneath. So that is one of the reasons I love using this as opposed to a regular white paint. We're going to let that dry completely, and while it's drying, we are going to stamp and foil our greetings for our card. From the new holiday typewriter stamp set, I have stamped From Our Family to Yours with a nice brown ink. I believe I used some ground espresso archival ink. It was probably on my desk. I've been using it a lot. I use brown as opposed to black because I feel that the black, or the brown, pardon me, works so much nicer with the design of this card as opposed to black. I've got some copper Spellbinders foil, and I'm also using a cream off cardstock from Simon Says Stamp to foil the Happy Holidays greeting. This is the Elegantly Modern Christmas. It's a stamp set, dies, and foil plates, all made to work together seamlessly. I use the foil plates today. If you don't foil, you can use the stamp set and emboss. That would be stunning as well. I'm going to take the coordinating die cut my greeting, and then we are going to simply place our greetings with some foam adhesive in the center of our wreath. Oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot even begin to say how much I love this card. These new products are just what I like. I like a whole range. I like elegant, I like cutesy, but this just speaks to my Christmas love and heart right here. Again, I'm using some foam strips to pop up the sentiment strip. I did die cut that with a sentiment labels die, of course. And then I'm going to do this a little opposite. I don't want to cover up too much of my wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my sentiment strip down first, kind of figuring out where can I place everything where my wreath still takes center stage. And then I'm going to piece together some foam on the back of the Happy Holidays using some small foam adhesive squares, just kind of popping them here and there. And then I need a little tape too. We're going to pop that up. The last thing, the very last thing our sweet little card needs is, I think, a scattering of some sort of embellishment. And this can be anything. This could be some little drops you create with like Nuvo crystal drops or other products similar. You could use sequins, you could use confetti, all kinds of great things. This may not seem like, the name of the sequin pack may not seem like it would go with this card, but I think it worked perfectly. There is a new Orange Leaves sequins pack from Simon Says Stamp as part of their STAMPtemer release, and I actually use those, and they have a beautiful gold tint, and I think that's really why they worked so well for my card design. I'm going to sprinkle those in to my little triangle tray from the little plastic bag they come in. This is great because I can funnel them right back in when I'm finished using them. These are flat sequins, so they don't have the little hole in the center, which I love. And I am going to now just pop these in place with an embellishment wand, and it picks up and it adds a little sparkle to our holiday design. I absolutely think it looks gorgeous. I started with a little scattering. I'm going to add a few more just to fill in a few of those little places, but I'm kind of following the shape of the wreath, if you can see that. So obviously I'm very heavy on the right side of the card. Definitely need to balance that out with a few over here on the left side as well. Even though the wreath kind of does that, not quite a full circle, I guess you want to call it, but I think this will be perfect. Almost a visual triangle. And there you go. We'll place this on a white top fold card base and we're all finished. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this Happy Holidays card featuring using distress pencils to color in an embossed image. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell to always be notified when there is a new video or I go live. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.